Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. Hope you've had a good weekend as well so far. We are back with another beer review, and we are back with another one from the Perfect Draft. It's Saturday. What's the date? 20 something? I don't know. Let me just have a quick nosy. All right, 28th. It's Saturday the 28th of October. On Friday the 27th of October, there was a new beer released for the Perfect Draft. Franziskaner kellerbier. So first of all, we have got this beer. I'm going to give him a shout out because of a certain other beer reviewer out there, Rate My Beer, who works very closely with Perfect Draft, and he pushed to get this beer released, and that's what's happened. It's come out now. So yeah, I suppose a big thank you to Paul for promoting, for getting it released and what have you. New beer's always good to have, and a German one especially. So, like I say, we've got this kellerbier in the Perfect Draft at the moment. Kellerbier is lager style, if you like, naturally hazy. I don't know an awful lot. I've done a little bit of reading up. Taste sort of notes: cracker, bread, herbaceous, and malty. Malty. So yeah, we got the keg in the machine now. The machine is actually set at 3 degrees. That is what's recommended, but it's only currently at 5 at the moment, so we are going to go in a little bit early. The keg was £37.90. I got it as part of a 3 keg deal, got the 15% off, so roughly about £10.20 off the keg, including your keg return. So that's bringing it in at around 28 quid for the keg. It's 5.2% in ABV, so any second now. Like I say, the temperature's not ready. I've not poured nothing from it yet. I don't have a Franziskaner kellerbier glass, unlike certain other people out there, Paul from Rate My Beer. But we are going with the sort of style of glass. That's the sort of style I think they sort of recommend putting it in. So we're going to put it in the Schneider Bayerisch Hell glass. So let's get over there, do a video of the pour, come back and see what this latest release is like. So here we are at the machine, 5 degrees, like I say, first pour out. Is it going to be lively? No idea, but let's give her a go. And yeah, fully expected. It's lively. Smashing stuff there, Bazza, and it's probably going to pour over. So we're back. First pour. There we are. That's what that settled down to. Because it looked so awful, I thought I'm going to pour another one, and we'll go with that one. So we'll let that settle. This was the second one. Didn't really turn out much better, did it? But it's good enough that you can see what it is. So the light's not great in here. Rarely is. But beer in a glass. Clearly not quite at the top. We got about 2.5 finger compact sort of head on this beer at the moment. Well actually, should we see what that's like without that on? Is that any better? That might be better. Yeah, we've got about 2.5 finger, 3 finger compact head there. The light is awful in here. I'm going to put that on again. Put that on again. Put that on again. I don't know if that's going to make any odds. I don't know. Terrible. Right, beer in a glass. Hazy looking number, as you'd expect. Lager style beer. Hazy, almost Weizen-like, isn't it? It's almost Weizen-like. Like I say, it's down to about 2 fingers ahead now. Compact. Not seeing much carbonation go up. But yeah, looks like a kellerbier. I've seen what kellerbiers look like. I know what they're supposed to look like. That looks like one. So let's go in with the nose and see what we pick up on the nose. Well, I've got to admit, I'm still feeling a little bit, but my nose is quite clear. And if I'm totally honest, I'm really not Get your nose out there, Baz. Not picking a massive amount up on it. Really not. I think it's supposed to be sort of like herbaceous and floral as well. There is that sort of wheaty, yeasty feel in there. You could almost say funky in a funny kind of way. But honestly, I'm not really picking much up on the nose. So if I'm not picking anything up, there's no point in talking about it. Let's dive in. Franziskaner kellerbier, 5.2%. Cheers, everyone. I had chili before as well, so I do apologise if it repeats on me. Cheers. Yeah, pretty decent, pretty decent. What I will say is that I'm not really sure. Well, I know I've had Keller beers before, and I wouldn't say they're a style that I am a huge fan of, if I'm totally honest. But we're going again. Body's nice, 5.2%. It's got a weightiness to it. It's very much, it has that wheat beer feel body to it. Maybe not as thick, but it's definitely got a weightiness about it. It's really smooth as you drink it, it's got to be said. Smooth, soft, gentle carbonation, but it's there, and it's the carbonation's really nice. It's got to be said, the carbonation's really nice. It really suits the beer. Gives it a wonderful mouthfeel and makes it really drinkable, really crushable. I'm just going to top that up in there. I'm going to give some taste notes now. I certainly picked more up on the taste than I was picking up on the nose, for definite. Yeah, on the taste. Wheaty, yeasty. It says herbaceous is the sort of thing that you should be getting from this style of beer. I don't know if I want to say herbaceous. Maybe a spicy sort of feel to it in a funny way, but not as in spicy. That it's sort of spicy in a maybe herbal sort of way. A slight bitter tang on it. I'm going to say there's some sort of fruity notes coming through for me. Maybe that bitter sort of feel I'm getting in there is maybe has a slight sort of citrus feel about it, which might seem odd, but that's the sort of thing I'm kind of getting from it. I would say the more I drink it now, the more of a malty feel I'm getting in there. Maybe even a slight sort of subtle caramel note going through. I mean, it's an interesting one. It's different. I mean, I say different, just as you'd expect Keller beer to be. But Keller beers are certainly different, and they're not necessarily going to be to everyone's sort of taste. For me, it's very similar to sort of like a wheat beer or a Weizen. And as we know, we all like different styles. Even the man himself, Paul, loves his Weizens. So I totally get why he likes this. But he's not so big on IPAs. And I suppose in a sense, this beer is going to be the same for other people. Yeah, it's got that sort of yeasty, funky, wheaty kind of feel to it. But it's not unpleasant. It is nice. It drinks really well. Very much one you could drink a few of. Although I do think maybe it might catch up with you because of the weight of the beer. 5.2% you don't get. There's no inkling of any sort of booziness or anything in there. Like I said, I've had Keller beers before. They've not always been my kind of style, personally. For instance, you've got the Birra Messina on the blade, which I believe is a Keller beer, that sort of thing. And I wouldn't say it really done it for me. It was all right, but I think even in that review, it's one of them. You're either going to love it or you're not. For me, it didn't do it for me. This, however, I'm enjoying. I'm not going to say it's going to be one of them that I'm going to cane. Just sit here and cane it on my own. I think if I was with a group of people, a couple of other people, yeah, I could quite easily drink a few. But I think I would find it a little bit heavy after a bit. But it's a very decent drop. It might not sound convincing, I know. What you're probably looking at me going, that don't sound good, Baz. That don't sound good. It is a decent beer. But as with most beers, it's going to come down to personal taste and what suits you. I do actually like this. I do think this is a decent drop. It's not going to, for me personally, I don't think it's going to be as quaffable as some of the other beers I've had. But it's a very decent drop. And it's also something a little bit different as well on the Perfect Draft. And I think that's well worth the money, actually. Some of these beers are coming out a bit more expensive. All right, this is probably sort of average price for a PD keg now. To be honest, around that 37, 38 quid mark. But that's worth it. You can tell that's a quality drop. So yeah, for me, Franziskaner Keller beer on the Perfect Draft. Very decent. If you're into your wheat beers, if you're into your unfiltered beers, definitely recommend giving it a go. If you're more of a Tennant drinker, or if you're more into sort of like your British lagers, stuff like that, that might not be your thing. But I would still recommend trying it. There's not many kegs I haven't had that I couldn't finish. There's a couple I've struggled with. Plenty in the past, plenty I've struggled with. But I won't struggle to drink that. That's a decent drop. I just won't find it as sessionable as maybe some other beers that are out there. But yeah, decent drop. Franziskaner Keller beer on the Perfect Draft. Excellent beer. Really tasty. Personal taste and everything. Give it a go. Like I say, if you're into your Tennant and that, maybe don't try it. If you like your German stuff and you're open to sort of like wheat beers and all this, that and the other, I think you're going to knock that back and really enjoy it. So that's it for this beer review. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.